Welcome back to Weekend Recharge. Fall isn't a time to forget about your yard. In fact, it needs still some tender loving care. Also is a season to start prepping your yard for winter.
All right, that's why we have Steele joining us in studio to keep us all in the proper season and the mindset now to take care of the landscaping. You're a landscape designer and project manager for Wilson Brothers Landscape. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let's start simple. What plants can we actually get in the ground right now?
Right now, fall is a great time for planting pansies and mums and flowering cabbages, flowering kale. My favorite is the pansies. You can put them out. They're going to last all winter. You know, they'll make it through the cold. They'll last up until like April. So.
Okay.
Yeah, they even make it through the snow as well. I've seen
make it through the snow.
Covered in ice.
Yeah. So you can get them in now. And
you can get them in now.
Okay.
Now's a great time. Yes.
Right.
And don't forget to fertilize as well. Again, we've been dealing with a lot of warm weather lately, but now we finally have a widespread cold snap for the country. Any special kind of care we have to take, knowing that some areas might see their first frost and freezes this week?
You know, nothing crazy, especially like if you're planting pansies. You know, you don't have to worry about any of that. You know, I mean, it's a great time to do anything. So.
All right, so let's talk about some of the bad stuff.
Okay.
It's been above average rainfall season in a lot of places. Maybe people are noticing like things like mushrooms popping up. Is that something that needs to be taken care of?
The quicker you get the mushrooms out of your yard, the easier it is going to be to take care of them. You know, you can treat it with a fungicide. Overall, though, if you maintain a healthy lawn, fertilize regularly, that's going to combat the mushrooms. You know,
Okay.
so.
Well, let's talk about the lawn, because my son's big question is, okay, when can I stop mowing the lawn? When will it stop growing?
Well, like you said, we're in a kind of a weird weather pattern right now. It's still warm, so people are still probably mowing their grass. I'd say right around this time is normally when you would stop, you know, but then you're going to want to apply a winterizer fertilizer, something with a high potassium content. That's the last number in the 10014. This is going to help, you know, get your lawn good roots going. It focuses more on growth on the bottom rather than the top, so it has everything ready to go for spring.
And
you know.
this is something that you can do yourself, but it always helps to check with the, you know, the experts in the stores to kind of figure out what you really need.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
And so we're talking about winterizing. Is there anything can we jump one more season? Should we be thinking about spring? What about trees and shrubs that we want?
Actually, you know, right now is the best time to plant trees and shrubs.
Really?
You know, it's a common misconception. People normally get ready to go in spring. Really, fall is going to be the best time to plant shrubs and trees. It helps them get acclimated. It's not as stressful on them because it's not as hot. It's easier on homeowners because you're not going to have to water it quite as much because it's cool, you know. Something like this is an encore azalea. You know, it's going to bloom multiple times a year. You see these blooming a lot right now, and now's a great time to plant them. So.
Well, let's talk about these shrubs, because again, they always confuse me. Because azaleas, when I grew up, that's all about spring bloom, and now these bloom, you know, at least twice a year.
Spring, summer, and fall.
When should you kind of prune those, cut those back?
Pruning the azaleas, you know, I'd say, you know, spring and fall. So they're going to bloom in spring. So right before they bloom, clip them a little bit, force some new growth and force some energy in the bottom. And then also when they get done blooming, give them a little haircut, you know, to get them through the winter. So.
Is there anything that we should stay away from this time of year from giving that little haircut? You know,
you don't want to do any major pruning right now.
Okay.
You know, like after they bloom, trim them up a little bit, you know. That's all.
When is major pruning season?
Major pruning season, I would say you're going to want to do, you know, early spring with these, you know.
Now, some people have the warm season grasses and cold season grasses. Again, some of the grasses will continue to grow even in the cold season. So any special type of treatment or fertilizer for these grasses that are still growing even during the winter?
Yeah, I mean, if you have like a winter rye or a fescue that's going to grow through the winter, you'll keep up with, you know, high nitrogen, you know, maximum water through the winter, you know, whereas with the cool season grasses or the warm season grasses, winterizer is all you need. You know.
J.C. Steele, thank you so much. Food for thought, for sure.
Yeah, well, speaking of warmer weather, breaking now, we're still watching